Hi ethics students, Dr. Bowen here. Thanks for joining me again. I'm going to do a quick review of Kant's third form of the categorical imperative. There is a prior video that's uploaded that discusses forms 1 and 2 of the CI, but to keep it from being overly lengthy, now we're going to discuss form 3, which is called intention or goodwill. It's also called the kingdom of ends forms by philosophers, and it's a little more obtuse than the others, so allow me to explain what the kingdom of ends is and why he put this as his final test of the categorical imperative. This form of the CI says you should act only on that maxim that could harmonize with a possible universal kingdom of ends. The kingdom of ends is a place where good intention and goodwill rule all decisions. So in this place, every person acts out of moral obligation to uphold the moral law and to act with benevolence or with good intention. Good intention is held out in Kantian deontology to be the highest form of ethical decision making, or the highest test of ethical decision making. Why good intention? Why not knowledge, friendship, intrinsic moral worth? Has many things that we might say are good. Because goodwill, in Kant's view, is the only thing that can't be overdone or taken to be too much or taken too far. For example, courage has innate moral worth, but if you have too much courage, it might become foolhardiness and you may end up harming yourself or having some type of bad consequences of that action. Knowledge, you may become insular and effete so that you don't create and share knowledge. You just study all the time. It becomes counterproductive. Even something like giving alms to the poor may become too much because you may then yourself become poor and become a ward of the state where you can no longer contribute that morally worthy action. So if you think about it, you can go through a number of things and say that it could become obsessive or too much. But goodwill can't be overdone. If you have good intention all the time, you really can't have too much goodwill or good intention. And intention is important in human reasoning. It goes back to that innate need that we as humans have for fairness. Think about the last time you bumped into someone on an elevator or stepped on a toe on the dance floor. You say, "Excuse me, I didn't mean to. Sorry to run into you." You say that because you're showing that you don't have ill intention. That gets back to that idea of fairness that we all hold so deeply as humans, but it allows us to operationalize it in a way where it can't be overdone. Even fairness can be overdone. If you have too much fairness, you may result in a communistic system where everyone is starving or living just on beets rather than being allowed to use their innate gifts. So think about this particular form of the categorical imperative is trying to create a perfect society. The kingdom of ends is that perfect society where everyone there has good intention. There are no alarms on banks in the kingdom of ends. Doors don't need to lock because there would be no robbers, no ill-intended visitors. Everything would be done out of a morally good will. So is your decision something that can be made from reason alone, from rationality, but also with good intent to do the right thing? And if so, does it seem to fit in where everyone else wants to do the right thing in the kingdom of ends? So that gives you a summary of the third form of the categorical imperative. The first form was the universal duty form, and we know that that means an action is ethical for everyone else, everywhere else, and for all time, just like it is for you. We know that the second form is the dignity and respect form, where you use people as an end in and of themselves, not really use people. You don't use people as a means to your own selfish end, but you value them as an end in and of themselves. They have innate moral worth, and you consider all of those perspectives like we talked about with my little fiber optic ball. And then the third form of the categorical imperative is the decision made from a place of good intention and goodwill alone. If it passes all three of those tests, you have arrived at an ethical decision. Congratulations. If you go beyond what your duty says you need to do and beyond what's ethical to do something that's morally praiseworthy, not just morally worthy, but morally praiseworthy, then we would call that a supererogatory moral action, meaning you've gone above and beyond the call of duty, and that is morally praiseworthy. But being morally worthy, in Kant's view, means that you can pass all three forms of the categorical imperative with what you're about to do, and he defines ethics as being worthy of happiness or making decisions that are always morally worthy. So keep in mind it's not an easy test to pass, but once you learn to implement the three forms of the categorical imperative, you're always going to have a more rigorous and well thought out ethical decision than if you did not, or if you just went by experience or gut instinct alone. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this video has helped, and I will see you very soon. Thanks again.